What's up, y'all? It's KD. I will be your host today for BearPod. So, yesterday marked the first day of Women's Empowerment Month, and of course, you see all my beautiful ladies right next to me. So, all of our ladies will be the host for today. Clap it up. Yay. All right, so I'm going to let my co-host, introduce herself.
Hey guys, it's Bree again.
Hey, my name is Ezina. Y'all know me.
And my name is Brianna. Hi.
All right, so we're just going to get straight into the campus events and announcements just to get that out the way. So if you guys are not familiar, midterms week is next week from March 6th to March 10th. Make sure you're studying, get prepared, get in study groups, do what you need to do to get ready, ace those midterms, right? And also, after that, we have our spring break and wellness week on March 13th to March 17th. So take your break, clear your head from those midterms, and get ready to come back for the rest of the semester for the spring term. So, am I moving too fast? All right. So since we are doing a Women's Empowerment Month, all of our topics for today will be women-based. And for our cave conversations, we're just going to have a nice little discussion, gossip, girl talk type of session where we'll just discuss prominent issues, prominent topics, dating advice, the whole shebang, shaboo. I don't know. We're going to talk about all of that today. So make sure you stay tuned and just stay engaged. So my first question for the cave conversations for my beautiful ladies is, what, in your opinion, is a strong black woman? Anybody can go first.
I'll go first. So I feel like when I first seen this on the page, I was like, strong black woman. It kind of sounds like a parody nowadays. Like, I feel like that's no longer a term that we use like seriously anymore, because if a lot of times we're forced to be this, caricature of what a black woman should be, rather than being really who we are meant to be. Like, if we're soft, or if we like to be just, cuddled, loved, and everything like that. This whole idea of being a strong black woman kind of overtook our personalities and our identities. So I just kind of don't look at that as a serious thing, but I feel like just being a strong woman, or just being a woman, period, should be the question, not really strong black women.
Any other thoughts?
For me, like she said, I don't really take the term seriously anymore, because one, it makes it feel like as a black woman you have to go through all this stuff, and you should be able to put up with it just because of the fact you're a strong black woman. And now, like most people, like, I feel like there's multiple different definitions of it, because when most people describe a strong black woman, like for men, they'll probably describe their mom, and maybe their mom's a single mom who's been doing this and doing, they're working 3 jobs and doing all these things. But at the time, I feel like it's like it just puts a precedent. Like, you have to go through so much, and you just got to put up with it just because of this whole strong black woman thing.
I second both those opinions. I do. But I think being a woman in general and being a strong person is living in light of who you are down to the core of it, and embracing it.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you guys said. In my opinion, I don't know, the term strong black woman just doesn't sit right with me anymore, because it just feels like it has like a negative vibe to it now. It's like, why do we have to be strong? They don't say you be a strong white, I don't want to make it racial, but they don't say be a strong white woman, be a strong Latina woman. It's just, they're just women. But we have to be strong just because they know in society we are the most oppressed. So it's like you're putting this important negative stigma or just this harsh criteria on us, and it's just a big expectation that we have to, live to. But yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to the next topic. This one is more so, I guess you could say, on a lifestyle basis. So as a woman, how would you prefer to be approached from a woman's point of view?
Approached in what context?
Okay.
Like somebody trying to talk to you?
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay. I don't want to go first. I went first last time.
I don't really know. Like, as long as you're not coming up like, hey, what's up, Ma? Like, come let me, all that aggressive stuff, because I deal with that a lot in Baltimore, and it kind of scares me. But, like, just, hey, how you doing? I want to talk to you for a second, da-da. And, if I decline, just, move on with your day instead of doing all these things, trying to, like, I don't know. If you just be calm, and then if you get rejected, just move on. Because I've heard people, like, I told someone I had a boyfriend, they're like, let me see. And I'm sitting here like,
people are crazy.
And I'm sitting here like, regardless, I don't want to talk to you. Obviously, take the hint, but, just, calmly. Just, hello, how you doing? Simple stuff.
Above all things, I think whether I'm rejecting somebody or going with it and, entertaining it, just with respect. Like, above everything, with respect.
Yeah, I feel like respect is a big thing, as well as just be genuine. Don't come up to me like, yo, like I'm trying, all of that stuff is not necessary. I feel like I'd rather you come to me like a friend trying to get to know a person rather than you look good for real. Like I don't want to hear stuff like that. Sorry.
I think for me, it's a little different because I am a lesbian, or at least a masculine lesbian. So I think most women expect me to come up to them, which I don't do. Because what you're not going to do is reject me. That's going to happen. But I feel like I've had a few instances where girls will come up to me on that type of trying to get to know me type of thing. But it's, I guess how I would want to be approached would just be, like you said, on something genuine, not on some, do you got a girlfriend? Oh, you look good, you got a girlfriend, or something like that. I think that's going to turn me off. I'm not going to lie. But the next segue, you kind of touched on it, how people don't know how to, or specifically men don't know how to handle rejection. When you guys just say, no, I got a boyfriend, or I don't know, they just can't take a hint. So women's safety is like, especially for us, it's like a big deal. So in your opinion, or just what do you think we could do to ensure that we are safe at all times?
Keep pepper spray on you. Because at this point, like, you don't really know. People are very unpredictable these days. Because even, like, it's not even a recent thing. Like, men have always, like, not just to, say men, but, like, men have always been, known as being aggressive. Like, not aggressive, but, like, it's always something like, oh, you hear a woman dying because she said no at the gas station, she said no at the club or anything. And next thing you know, some guys followed her home and killed her. And it's like, I don't really think there's anything we can do but, try to mend themselves, stop the culture of just being aggressive when you get told no. Like, I don't know.
But where do you think that comes from? Like, does that start in the home? Or, like, where does that mentality from men where it's like, oh, if you say no, I don't care if you said no, it's my way or the highway. Like,
it's somebody being caught up in their ego. And I feel like those things are, they're either taught or they're just not taught. And when I say that, I mean, like, you weren't taught not to do that, or you were taught to do that. So I feel like it starts at home, like you said. If your parents, raised you to be a person that, can handle rejection, handle failure without it being a reflection of you as a person, that's a big thing, as well as egos. Because people, like, they don't want to seem weak. They don't want to seem like they can't do something. I feel like it really starts at home, just teaching your children that, like, rejection, it doesn't define you. And you should be able to, bounce back, whatever it is. And that's not only in these situations, but, like, a job. Like, if you get rejected from a job, are you going to go and say, like, I'm going to kill you? Like,
right,
you
like,
can't
I'm going to shoot up the
didn't
building.
that dude
like,
do
people do
that?
that.
One
But it's
dude
like,
did that for HR.
Literally here at
yeah.
Morgan State University. But let's hope that most people would not react like that.
Yeah, rejection is something, now that I think about it, even from my standpoint, I don't think I was familiarized with rejection. It's something that I had to learn over time. But as women, we're more sensitive, so we're not gonna do our big one and have a complete problem or have an egotistical view on how to resolve the situation. We just take it to the chin and keep it moving because we know we got something else.
Not all the time though. I've heard, like, girls be like, oh, he don't want me gay. Like, it's
Yeah,
you've heard,
you do that?
one.
not me,
Oh.
but I've heard people do like,
have
come
said
on,
that.
you've heard that,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, he don't want me, he gay.
Yeah.
Oh, he don't want me because it's stuff like, there's stuff like, I don't know, it's more like expected for a man to, you can be like, oh, you don't want me, boom. Like, I was on U Street one day and my friends rejected this guy, and then the whole gang came up and just started, you're like, oh, y'all ugly anyways, y'all this anyways.
It'd be that one.
Mm-hmm.
Because how you gonna say, "Yeah, let me get your number," and then when I say no, now I'm ugly.
Now you
Like,
ugly, man.
It never gave
I've
ugly.
seen it happen, and I feel like I've been so afraid of that like I've always just gone with it, because it's like I would be more afraid of you trying to reject me after I've rejected you, that I would just be like, let me just go along with it, and maybe I just will not text him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like that embarrassment. I don't like the shame that comes with it. Like, I'd rather just get it over with.
So y'all look, it's 2023, right?
Yeah.
Dating, what does that even look like for y'all? Like, I guess being in college right now too, and in the setting that we're in, but in general, like, you talked about like being taught certain things and whatnot. Like, even when it comes to people approaching you, like, what is dating like for us now?
Terrible. Well, to me, to be honest, I feel like it's really hard for me to actually like connect with someone in that way, because I mean, the things that we've already been through can kind of like, have a hold on us. And that's what I'm personally experiencing now. So it's like I'll meet somebody and maybe they will be a good person, but like because of the things I've been through in the past, nothing's working. And I feel like the other day me and my friend were on the phone and I was just telling her everything that was wrong with this guy I was talking to, and she was like, I think you're traumatized. And I was like, yeah, I think so too. And we laughed so hard, but I feel like the trauma kind of gets in the way, as well as the fact that people have their own trauma and they're putting it on you too.
I think along with the trauma, because we all have our own issues that we have to deal with, I think another thing that could contribute to it is that people just don't know how to date now. They don't know what dating is. And for me specifically, for my dating scene, I don't really have a problem getting girls. But I'm just playing. But it's like if I were to connect with somebody, I would know how, or I feel like I would know how to, treat them in terms of just getting to know them. So of course, the first date is important. Second date is important. Communication and just establishing that transparency of being honest is important. But the trauma, that's still something that you would have to deal with, individually. But if you find a partner that you're comfortable with, working through it together, I think that's something that could help build that foundation. But dating in college is like weird. Now it's weird.
I feel people are just scared to call it dating these days. Like, they'll say they're talking. They'll be with someone, spending every day with them, dining with them, meeting their parents, and they're just talking. The second you say, oh, you're my boyfriend, like, oh, hold on, that's too much. Like, oh, no. That's why I'm just like...
I wonder why the label scares people. Because sometimes it scares me. Like, if I get too close with somebody, I would be like, dang, like, I'm about to commit or something.
It's the commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment.
I also think at this point, like, our 20s is a crazy time from start to finish. Like, so much stuff is happening. Things are changing. Trying to figure out where you're going to be in the next 3 to 4 years. It's just a weird time. So I think that also, plays a hand in why it's so weird dating right now. But, and I also see what you're saying, like, as far as the trauma thing, because times I'm just like, sheesh, is it me? Like, I wish those things that have happened to me, of course, every experience is a learning experience, but, like, it just has an impact on my new experiences, and I'm just like, I wish it didn't.
I agree. It's really hard because some people won't understand it, but if they don't understand, I feel like just move on. Like, if they don't understand, I would just say just move forward, because or maybe just take a break from dating. I know I did that for a long time.
Taking a break from dating is healthy, but Bree, when you pointed out that we're in our 20s and we're just going through so many changes, I feel like as women, we're told to date, or just at least not feel like we have to put all our eggs in one basket. So, okay, do y'all have a roster? I'll put it like that. Because then if you have a roster, how do you figure out who's first, who's second, who's third? So, like, the whole juggling thing.
Oh, personally, I don't do that. I'm sorry. I talk to somebody, so no, I don't have a roster. But I just feel like people who do that, that's a lot of work. Like, to do all these line, oh, good morning to 3 different people. Like, I don't see how people can really juggle all of that. I don't know. I feel like that's a character flaw to be doing that. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying okay, you can't talk to get to know multiple people, but to the point where people are sitting here like 3 different people, meeting your mom, 3 different people meeting your kids, meeting your dog, coming every day to your house.
Kids.
Like, I'm sorry, I don't know, but not me, but it's just a lot of that's like living a double life in my opinion when it gets too far. But if you just talk, introducing hey, how you doing, stuff like that, I don't find a problem with that. But I don't know, it gets shaky.
Yeah, I heard you.
Character flaw is crazy. I mean, I got a few people in rotation, but it's only because, like you said, keep your options open, no eggs in baskets and all that stuff. But it's not like I'm going crazy and meeting their parents and doing all that stuff. It's like we're communicating every day. It is a lot of work, so sometimes I'll forget somebody. But either way, we go on dates. I see who I like the most, and then whoever I like the most, I gravitate more towards.
Your point guard.
Literally. So I mean, as of right now, I'm seeing one specific person, but the other 2 are when are we going on that date? When we going on that date? And I'm gonna go on the date with them, but it's probably I probably drag my feet a little bit trying to figure out. But when he mess up, I got somebody to fall on.
But does he know?
He doesn't have to know. He don't gotta know until I feel like we get to a certain point. Okay. I feel like there is some type of threshold. So if we start talking about, okay, where's this going? Like moving forward, what do you see us as? That's when I'll say, well, I am, dating. So if you want to, be exclusive, let's talk about that. But I feel like that's where communication comes in. And I feel like we're mature enough to like be able to know that we're like in our 20s. You're not going to be just talking to me, and I don't expect you, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm with you, I'm with you. And when you with them, you with them.
And like you just said, we're dating. I think the whole definition and idea, of course there's levels to it, but like dating is getting to know people, especially at this point in our lives. Like it's nothing wrong with getting to know different people at the same time. And I mean, of course, it's up to you whether you want to be open about it or not, but that's just what we're doing. I think that's dating in its definition.
So since we're on the topic of just the whole dating realm, when it comes to a first date, when it comes to a first date, right? If you ask your person out, are you already having the intentions to pay? Or if your partner or whoever you're going on a date with asks you, are you expecting them to pay? Like, yeah, we're having that conversation.
This is very Twitter.
It is very Twitter.
Very Twitter.
And you want to know who brought it up?
Who? These dudes. Of course.
Yeah.
They be the ones worried. Because personally, I don't be caring. But if I ask you out, I'm going to take you out. But I don't be asking people out, so.
Okay, for me, yeah, I don't ask people out, so it's like, I'm not saying I would never pay, but like, if he asks me out, I'm not paying. Now, if I say, okay, maybe we should go somewhere, let's go to this restaurant. Okay, I'll take out maybe this is the one I'll do, like, oh, I'll take my wallet out for a second, maybe, because I'm the one who suggested it, but. So, I don't know.
In my experience, if someone asks me out, they usually pay. But I don't walk into situations with expectations. And I'm the type of person that will, like, go to pull my own wallet out type tip. Because, especially if it's, like, a first date. Like, I'm not going in, like I said, with the expectation.
I feel like I wouldn't say it's people pleasing, but it's low-key people pleasing to take out your wallet if you're not about to pay. Only because, no offense, because like I understand, I've done it too. But I feel like it's kind of just like you're trying to make them comfortable or like make them think like, okay, I'm not gonna really just use you for your money. Like at the end of the day, if you are the man that you say you are, well, I can't even say that because that's not really. I don't want to get canceled, but.
If you're the person
you say you are and you say that, you want to take me out and you want to do this and show me a good experience or whatever, I feel like you should already be wanting to do that for me. It shouldn't be a question of, okay, but are you going to sit here and let me do it? Like, I don't know. I feel like it gets complicated.
But just to clarify, I didn't mean like I would pull it out to see what they would do. I'm actually going to pull it out because I'm intending on paying for my own stuff. Not like, fake me out. Let's see if you're going to like tell me to stop. No. I got me at the end of the day. So
yeah, like I wouldn't
that's how I
go out
carry
with
it.
no money. Expect like you said, you gotta go out with like you can't just go out and expect things. So I go with my own money. Like if we, if the date don't go well and I gotta pay, it's okay. But like we went out, nothing's staying in my bag. I'm sorry, but.
All right, can we take a quick break? Thank you so much, ladies, for all of your wonderful comments. At this moment, we're just going to take a quick break to highlight some of our Black-owned businesses led by our Black queens. And tuned in, make sure you support them. Yeah.
Hey Morganites, I'm CJ, the CEO of Designs by Janae. I do men's locks, twists, and braids. And for my girlies, I did not forget about y'all. I also do ladies retwists and natural styles for my girls. It would be greatly appreciated if you guys could follow my hair page at Designs by Janae, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Hey y'all, it's your favorite CEO, Misha, and I'm here to talk to you guys about Blazing Boutique, your fave. We're best known for our self-defense keychains and our self-defense tools as well, so many to choose from. But our accessories is also an eye-catcher. We have so many different bracelets to choose from, but we also have necklaces as well. Our motto is to stay protected, but cute at all times. So shop with Blazing Boutique today.
Boom. All right, so thank you so much for watching those intermissions. I hope you go out and support them. Why are y'all laughing?
This wasn't as good as It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you. All right. All right, yeah. So thank you so much for watching those videos. Make sure you go support our ladies. And now we're just going to continue on with our conversation for Women's Empowerment Month. So now we're going to get into some red and green flags, but not when it comes to fellas, partners, none of that with each other. So we'll start off with the bad. So let's do red flags first. Okay. Let me see. I don't want to go first on this one because my perspective may be a little different than y'all's.
Why are you looking at me? Oh, like red flags and girls?
Yeah. Friends, acquaintances, anything.
I'll say girls try to embarrass you when boys come around. Like, that throws me off.
It's
like,
the male
it's
validation.
Like a bunch of boys come around. Oh my God, Brianna, your lace lift. Let me fix it. Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you can't pull me to the side?
No,
Like,
yeah.
Stuff like that. Or I can't think of another one.
I agree. Male validation, especially, I know that I've grown up like around a lot of men. Like I have like 3 brothers, older brothers, and then most of my friends were guys. So like I had this one girl come into the group, and I was happy because I'm like, okay, another girl in the group, and she just like, oh yeah, you barely even part of the group. Like, oh yeah, like these really my bros, blah blah blah. And it's like she'll try to compete in that, and I'm like, girl, I don't care about these guys. Like, why are you making it a big deal? But I feel like that's a red flag for me, looking for male validation, trying to be the only girl in the room, trying to compete with other women just because we're women.
I think in terms of females and having friends who are the females, maybe being more or being really judgmental when it comes to like maybe who that person is messing with at the time, or like the decisions that they're making. Because of course, a good friend is gonna tell you how it is, but I think overdoing it and trying to dictate like what your friends should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing, and just passing so much judgment to the point where it's like hindering how they think about whatever situation they're in, can be a little red flaggish.
I agree. Not even a little, a lot of.
A lot
sure.
of.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess for me, a red flag would be specifically in friendships. If your friend, because I feel like sometimes I have a problem with this, passive aggressiveness. If there's some sort of conflict, I think for us, it's so in the back of our heads, we don't want to come off as like confrontational, especially when it comes to our friends, because then that means it could either go one of 2 directions. It can either go the right way or the left way. So when there's conflict, sometimes we, black females or just females in general, we tend to kind of just be aggressive, but not too aggressive. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just something that we do because we don't know how to effectively communicate. I think that's why we do it. But I feel like there are more red flags that we do. We just don't recognize them unless it's pointed out to us. Because, it's just difficult to recognize your own personal red flags. We can see them in other people, in other sexes like males. But when it comes to us, we won't know what our red flags are unless we're told. But, I mean, it is what it is. If nobody tells us, then I'm going to just assume I'm a walking green flag.
Come on.
But speaking of green flags, in my opinion, I think the best green flag that a woman can have is just being able to communicate her feelings effectively. Which is kind of went to my last point, but not really. Just being able to express exactly how you feel and not get offended if somebody else says something that you disagree with. It's always the possibility to agree to disagree with anything that you go through. But that's one of my green flags. So, y'all got any green flags?
I mean, just being like a genuine friend, because it's like, not saying it's a woman trait, but like a lot of people are really catty these days, and like there'll be people who just like, you'll have a friend and you'll just be opening up to them, and the second you ask them anything, it's like, oh, I like telling my business or whatever. They're telling your business to whoever else, and you know nothing about them, so you can't even, get your get back at it. So it's like just being
Get
a
back
genuine
is crazy.
I don't mean, but like, yeah, just being a genuine person, which is like kind of hard to find these days, especially in women, because it's like you said, like a lot of people look at like women as competition for no reason. It's just really weird.
Yeah. Another green flag would be like someone that is uplifting. So like the opposite of that competition thing, like trying to see everybody win. I know that personally, I try to be that person. Like, if I know you, or even if I don't know you, I'm gonna still try to lift you up one way or another. Like, like those girls you'll see at a party and you meet in the bathroom and y'all hyping each other up and things like that. Or like even just like those people that you meet and then the first day, like they're trying to help you. They're trying to, understand who you are and be genuine with you. I feel like that's always a green flag to me. Just coming out the gates just with positive energy.
I think open-mindedness, like again, like the whole judgment thing, but just have an open mind to what people got to say, how they feel.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of women are actually very closed-minded, but we don't pay attention to it because it's just like, okay, well, we're oppressed. But like a lot of women do be saying very homophobic things, very anti-woman things, but I mean, we just kind of look over it a lot of times. But I think we need to start holding each other more accountable.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, I feel like women don't hold each other accountable these days, and when they try to, they're just being judgmental. Like, I've heard girls ask another girl, like, what were you wearing when the boy was touching you, or stuff like that. Like, I've heard stuff like that. It's just like, girl, you're a whole woman. Like, what do you mean? What was she wearing? Like,
yeah,
we expect it from men, but like you, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with everything I said. Let me not do that, but yeah, green flags. Women, we have genuine qualities. Like I said before, we're sensitive, so we feel our emotions, in my opinion, more intensively than other people may do. Besides being a good communicator and just being genuine from jump, I think something else is once you get that feel that y'all or your friends or the people that you hang around, they're gonna be there through thick and thin. At that point, that's when you're on a whole different level of friendship. But a lot of y'all green flags kind of gave away what your love languages would be. Because you said you like when people are genuine. As soon as you get there, or as soon as you meet a person from jump, they already willing to help. In my opinion, that's the love language of acts of service on the receiving end, right? So what are your love languages? It doesn't have to be with, partners, but friendships or in general.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Like, it is acts of service as well as like words of affirmation. So you know how I said uplifting? Those two things are like really they're my stuff. Like I need to have that in order to feel loved.
What about giving it? How do you give love?
I do the same thing. I feel like when I walk into a room, I want to speak to people and have my words be, positive enforcers in their life. That's the first thing that I always do. And as well as acts of service, I haven't been the best at this because I feel like I grew up in a place where I was always having to give my time and energy to people. But I'm trying to get back into it as like, if you need something, I'll do it. If you need a ride, let me help you. Like, any way I can help, I be trying to do that. So I definitely give it out as well as I love receiving it.
But it's good that you take accountability for that, because accountability is something that anybody needs to work on. So it's good that you acknowledge that, yes, acts of service is your thing and that you could be better at giving it. But acts of service is definitely one of mine also. I like, in terms of friendship at least, I like to feel dependent on. I like for my peers, my friends, to feel comfortable enough to ask me for help. I don't want anybody that I deal with, whether that's intimately or platonically, to feel like they can't come to me and ask me for help. And then on top of that, words of affirmation, I like to reassure my friends, my partners, any of that. Just with the simple, how are you, how your day going, just know I'm here. And I love a good, I'm so proud of you. I always say that whenever it's, necessary. And then for me, on an intimate level, physical touch is one of my big ones. Even if it is platonically, like I'll be in a group of people and I'll be like, okay, give me your hand, and I'll hold their hand and like take it with me or something like that. But yeah, that's a few of mine. What are y'all love languages?
Go ahead. You want me to go? I'll go there. Okay. Mine are physical touch and quality time. And as far as like what I give, I think it's more so words of affirmation. And I think that's because growing up, that's not something that like I received. So that's why I tend to give it more unconsciously. But yeah. And then of course, quality time and physical touch as well. But those are my two.
Oh, for me, like on a friend level, I don't really like people touching me. So like, I've had friends that I've hugged on account of like 3 times. We know each other for like 4 years. I'm telling you, and it's just, but I like quality time. Hanging out with my friends, whatever. Where's affirmation? Like, hey, how you doing? Like, just checking up or just saying, hey, what you doing is good, whatever. And yeah, I like gift giving. Like, I give my friends gifts or whatever. Like an intimate level, like physical touch. Yeah, that's cool. Quality time. I think not all of them. What's one I don't like? I don't think it's one I don't like. Access service, that's good. I mean, both for like friends and like partners, access service is a good thing. But like I feel like sometimes people's love languages are the same. So if you're like, say you have mine is access service, and I have one friend who's just like words of affirmation, and I'm always doing all stuff for them, but they never do anything for me. I'm sitting here thinking, are we really friends? But okay, that's just not like what they're used to. Like, that's not their love language. So yeah, I think it's important to learn everybody's.
I'm about to say, but either way, regardless if that's not their love language, if the person platonically or intimately, if they're dealing with you, they have to be open, like we said, open-minded to still give you how you want to be loved. Because at this point, your love language is physical touch, and mine is active service. But I'm always here giving you the love that you want, but you can't even, give me some food or something. I don't know. But
I mean, but what happens like when there's this like physical touch and I don't like physical touch? Like,
if intimately?
Not even intimately. Like, for example, okay, my sister, she loves physical touch. Like, she will hold your hand, be all up on you, and I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I hate stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of hard for her to feel loved. I'm gonna talk to her, I'm gonna do everything else, but it's like I don't like to always be touched. Yeah,
it's always good to have that communication, even if it is your little sister or anybody. It's good to have that communication and be like, listen, I bang with you, but physical touch sometimes makes me uncomfortable. I understand that this is how you like to give love or receive love, and I'll try my best to accommodate that, but I need you to also respect my boundaries and realize that I don't like to be touched as much. Give me a little high five or something, give me a little hug, but keep that minimum. But there you go.
And I think beyond like a platonic relationship, when it comes to your partner, when they don't align, that's like, of course, communication is big when it comes to it, but at some point it might be like a give and take type of thing. Like, you got to realize what you're willing
to give up.
Yeah, and how you want to receive it. And if that person's not willing to, act accordingly, then
sometimes you got to make a sacrifice.
Yeah.
You want to add something?
Oh no.
You want to add anything else?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Well, on that note, that wraps up the first episode of Women's Empowerment Month. I hope you guys enjoyed it so much as I did with my beautiful host and co-host. And yeah, we will see you next week on our next episode. Stay tuned.